Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome you to our Offerings to the Ancestor annual Muse event. This is an ancestral altar that we all create together, and everyone contributes their energy and their intention and any love you have in your heart for those that you missed, those that you knew or you didn't know. So thank you for making this space with us. We will open the event with a non-denominational invocation. So you're welcome to keep your eyes open or closed, however you're comfortable. And we'll just set an intention for a few moments. Divine Spirit, we acknowledge that we are gathering on the ancestral lands of the Lenape people, and we send our respect to their elders, both past, present, and future. May we soften our hearts to all of the love that is here in this room tonight. May we quiet our minds, even if just for a few moments, to all of the things in this world that are out of our control. May we remember who we are and that we belong to one another. It is our responsibility to care for each other in big ways and in small. And so it is. If you have your eyes closed, you're welcome to open them. Or you can keep them shut if you want to just have a restful time here with us. Thank you again for coming. I just want us to hold for a moment and begin to get curious about how many ancestors each one of us have. Thinking about your lineage, perhaps you know some of your ancestors, perhaps you don't know many of them, or maybe you knew a lot, but the number is astounding. Like if we go back about 30 generations, each person in this room has 1 billion ancestors, if you can comprehend that. So there's, over 8 million people who live in this city, and you have way more ancestors than people who are here in this city right now. So it's something to think about, when you walk out of this room, every time you see a new face and think like, oh, that's another person who could be my ancestor, just to think of the number, the astounding number of spirits who played a role in your existence, who dreamt about you, who imagined what you might be like, who hoped that you would carry on perhaps something that they did with their life, something they were passionate about, maybe something that they believed in. When you think about the things in your life that you are really passionate about, the things that you love the most, there's a pretty good chance that you have a lot of ancestors who also loved those things. Maybe, your child has the most adorable nose, and that nose existed 6,000 times in your family, and that's why it's so endearing for you. Maybe your ancestors lived near the ocean and you feel calm and at peace when you're near water. We have all these connections, and we sometimes forget or we don't realize that our ancestors are present with us, especially when we are living the things that we are passionate about, the things that we believe in, the things that we feel are important and are true. And also not to forget that our ancestors are absolutely with us when we are confused, or we feel like we're going through a dark time, or we're in grief, or we just don't know what is happening in our own lives or in the world around us. Our ancestors are there with us. Our ancestors have gone through this before too. You know, they've endured so much. So your existence is proof that they know how to survive, that they know how to persevere, and that's great and beautiful. But your existence is also proof that they knew how to love and that they knew how to tend to their relationships and to make connections with their communities and the people who they helped live a better life. So what happens when we, or what could happen when we consciously connect with our ancestors? I always like to add that our ancestors were human, so none of them were perfect. They all made mistakes, just like we all make mistakes. So, but even our ancestors who made mistakes, there is strength and healing and acknowledging and remembering them and knowing that we have a deep connection to them and that the actions and the choices that we make today can change the future of the future ancestors, can change the present of the life that we're all co-creating together on Earth. So there's such immense power when we begin to tap into remembering this support system, this guidance system that is always with us and always around us. I think too, when we remember our ancestors and we tune into that, we feel less alone. I feel less alone. I'll speak for myself. When I remember, even just remembering my grandparents, or I was lucky enough to know my great-grandmother, and today actually is the death anniversary of my grandma, Carmela Rossi. So it's very special to do this event on this day. 11 years ago was her date of transition, but just the strength that comes with, what would they say to you? How would they support you? Or just the vision of 1 billion ancestors standing behind you in a room when you have to do something you're afraid to do, or when you have to have a difficult conversation, or when you have to let go of something you don't want to let go of yet, or when you want to take a leap and follow your dreams. Like, imagine having the support of 1 billion ancestors. Like, how that might make you take that first step differently, or how it might make you trust in what you want or what you believe in. So we have, we're going to go on about ancestors for a bit here, but I just want to give you a little brief preview of the program we're going to do. I will lead a meditation, and after that we're going to have a storytelling portion with some music and some speakers who I will introduce shortly, who are going to share some personal stories and anecdotes with you about their ancestors. And throughout the event, I want everyone to feel welcome. If there's something you maybe forgot to add or something you'd like to add to the altar, this is your altar. This is for you. So this whole space is the center of our event. This is for all our loved ones in spirit who we're remembering or who we're curious about, whom we maybe never met. And one thing I'd like us to do before we begin the meditation is I want you to think for a moment of what ancestors are on your mind. Maybe you know their names, maybe you just know their mom's side of the family, or for me, maybe I would say my Italian side of the family, whatever it is. Just think about what they are, and I'm going to count to 3. And on the count of 3, I'd like us all to, in a quiet voice, to say their names aloud, or to say the family name aloud. You can list as many names as you want. This can go on for as long as it needs to, but there's a great power in using your voice to remember them, to acknowledge them, and to connect with them. And when we do something like this in community, like, it amplifies that voice as well. So there's no right or wrong way to say it. So I will just give us a countdown, and then I'm going to step away from the mic so you don't just hear my voice, so that we hear everyone's voice, and we'll all say the names that are in our hearts on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Grandma Carmi and Grandpa Armand and Grandma Louise and Grandpa Ed and Woody and Peter and Grandma and my great aunt Samantha and my grandmother. So for all of the names that we said aloud and the ones we hold in our hearts, we're going to presence them as we spend a few moments in meditation. So if you feel comfortable closing your eyes, if you have anything in your hands that you might want to set down next to you, or just however you can be most comfortable. There are also lots of pillows in the front if anybody wants to sit on the floor for the meditation. Please feel welcome to do so. Thank you. Let's take a deep breath in and sigh it out. And let's do that again. A deep breath in and sigh it out. You can allow your breath to flow naturally in and out of your body, trusting that there's nothing you need to do in this moment. There's no right or wrong way to be. Just allowing the chair and the floor to support you, and the love of 1 billion ancestors as well. Begin to imagine a soft white light shining down from the altar. This light carries healing. This light carries peace. And this light carries whatever is most needed in your heart at this moment. As the light reaches you, begins to softly pour over the crown of your head, imagining a gentle waterfall of white light pouring down the sides and the back of your head, reaching your forehead and your eyebrows, your eyelids, the backs of your eyes, reaching your mouth and your jaw and your tongue, letting each part that the light touches to soften, perhaps to let go just a tiny bit, and let the light carry away what you no longer need to hold there. The light continues to pour down, reaching your throat and your neck, traveling down your shoulders, perhaps creating a little more space there between your ears and your shoulders. Traveling down the arms, the hands, and the fingertips. letting go of anything you may have been holding on to there. With each breath, the light fills your lungs and your torso, your belly, gently carrying ease and peacefulness to your entire torso. Maybe the belly can soften if you're holding it in. Maybe the chair can support you more. The light continues down, reaching your hips and your pelvis, your tailbone, traveling down each of your legs, your knees, your ankles, and down through the bottoms of your feet. Each inhale, your body is filled with more white light. And each exhale, it is carrying away what you no longer need to carry alone. Imagine whatever is passing through you is being held by each one of your ancestors until whatever burden you may be holding can feel almost weightless. As the light continues to fill this room, a path emerges in front of our altar. This is the doorway where we welcome in your ancestors. In your mind's eye, you may see some of them. You may feel some warmth or some tenderness in your body as they gather around you. You'll take a moment to look within and be curious about all that our ancestors have given us, that have brought us to this present moment, to this life, to this body, to the spirit we carry within us. Perhaps you can feel a sense of gratitude. Of gifts perhaps received from your ancestors or from your own lessons and experiences in this present life. We'll send this gratitude to everyone seen and unseen. With this gratitude, we will send healing where it is needed, within ourselves and to each of our ancestors. We do not have to know where the healing is going. We just trust that it knows where to go. And in this space of white light and healing, we can imagine rows upon rows upon rows of our loved ones stretching out in front of us, much farther than the eyes can see, stretching out behind us with support and protection, and stretching out on each side of us. Walking along this journey with us. And sending us love. It is in this space that there is no difference between our ancestors and you. You are a part of one another. You always carry them within you. We invite our ancestors to remain with us, to remind us of the best parts of ourselves, the most compassionate and courageous parts of ourselves, the parts of ourselves that can give more love than we realize. And we remember we can always return to these parts whenever we need them. We're going to slowly bring our attention back to our physical bodies, becoming aware of the chair that's been supporting us and the floor beneath our feet. And slowly bring some gentle movement to awaken parts of the body. If you'd like to roll your head on the neck or your shoulders. Maybe you'd like to stretch your arms or have a yawn, or wherever it feels good to bring some movement back. And together, let's take a deep breath in and release. And another deep breath in and release. And when you feel ready, you want to flutter your eyes open, perhaps looking down at the ground or something nearby, and slowly bringing your gaze back up to the altar. So I'd now like to begin the storytelling portion of our program, and I'd like to introduce our 3 guests to you. First, we will have Dr. Eli Yeaman, who is the managing and artistic director of Jazz Power Initiative, a pianist, a composer, a singer, educator, a dear friend of the Muse program. He's going to share some of his musical talents with us. We also have Reverend Nikenya Hall here with us. She is the founder of Achieving Balance Counseling and Holistic Center, an author, a psychic medium, a healer, a dear friend, also a part of our Muse community. And we have Carla Zanoni here with us as well, who's an award-winning writer, poet, journalist, and another dear member of our Muse community. So please enjoy listening to their stories. And Eli, why don't you take it away?
That's a song that I wrote called Jaquette's Meditation. And I wrote it and dedicated to a musician I worked with years ago named Illinois Jaquette. He was famous for playing the saxophone and very bluesy, very swinging, very joyful at times and fierce at other times. He had a reputation on the bandstand for being a taskmaster, very tough, and it was actually a perfect situation for me as a young man to be able to work with somebody like that who carried so much of the beauty and treasure and challenge of the jazz traditions with him. And he imparted that to me patiently at times, other times with great impatience. But the first time I went to his house to audition, I saw a picture next to the piano of an Indian guru, and it was the same guru that I had been studying with. And that to me was a sign I was in the right place at the right time. And I found out that Illinois Jaquette was very interested in meditation. So even though he had this fierce and very powerful style, he also had acquired a contemplative piece of him that was important, and we connected through that. And then I wrote this song for him. And he loved it. He played it, and he loved it. Years later, with another saxophonist named Claire Daly, she loved this song too, and she loved to play this song. And I was in her band for many years, and we played it. Jacquette's Meditation. And Claire just passed away last week. And she's one that's so dear to my heart. So even though it's not my blood ancestor, it got me thinking about the people that appear in our life who are connected to us. There's no question. They may not have the same name. We may not look the same. But we're connected on a soul level. And we're supposed to be in each other's lives for a reason. And when those people leave, it feels like someone that you were related to has left your life. So I've been thinking about Claire and her connection to Illinois. And then our connection to yoga and the great spiritual traditions of India. So when I came today, I started playing one of the chants that we like to play in yoga tradition called Kali Durga, which is a wonderful chant to the goddess Kali. She's a fierce warrior, and she has a sword, and she destroys things sometimes, and that creates room for things that are new. So I'll play a little of this chant, and if you'd like to participate, you can. The words in Sanskrit are Kali Durga. Can you say it? Namo Namah. Kali Durga, Namo Namah. And for anyone who's observing Diwali, we say Happy Diwali to you. It's the festival of light in the Indian tradition. Kali Durge Namo Namah Kali Durge Namo Namah. Everybody sings. Kali Durge Namo Namah. 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 Kali Durge Namo Namah.
Oh, that was absolutely beautiful. I'm glad to see some familiar faces and also some new faces. That's just a testament of this program, and I might be a little biased, but this is my favorite one of the year. Love it. I pulled my Oracle card this morning, and it was storytelling. And I was like, fitting. And the card, the meaning of the storytelling Oracle card was, there is an ancestor present, and they want you to tell the story. And so I'm going to share a few words about my story with grief. I think we can't talk about ancestors without touching on that. I like to say I was formally introduced to grief. It's been about 7.5 years when my mother transitioned. And by undergrad and grad and profession, I moonlight as a therapist. I don't do too much of it anymore. But I had never touched grief the way I felt the moment my mother transitioned. And I said, y'all been lying. Y'all been lying. People die all the time. This is in my curriculum. I've studied it. I've even counseled people on it. But no, 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 no. What I'm feeling, this is a new ballpark. So we just not gonna talk about it? We just let people out in the world grieve and just like keep it going? And with that, I said, I'm gonna grieve out loud because it's so expansive and I can't keep it on the inside. My mother came to me the day after she transitioned. A few days later, I had a dream about her. We were in a car and we were talking. And almost 8 years later, she still comes. And she comes often. And she comes when I ask her to. She's probably tired of me. She's probably tired of me at this point. She's probably tired. She's like, girl, you see I'm on the other side doing my things. You don't want to keep on. You still, yes, mother. Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you remember Earth? It's kind of hard down here. Capital G. Ghetto, right? So what I've learned is there is a vastness of grief. If you allow it to do its job. And when I say vastness, there's a part of your heart that just opens up and you can't put it back together, and you shouldn't. You shouldn't. You should allow it to stay broken and stay open, because that's where mystery lies, and that's also where love lies. Now, I would be remiss if I get up here and say like, oh, this, grief is great and my mama comes, because the flip side of that is my daddy don't come. I don't see that man. But what I learned is the vastness of the other side and the vastness of grief is you can still work through whatever you need to work through with your transition loved one. So this notion of, oh, they transition and you need to make it right now. Spirit is vast. And we're still here on earth. So whatever that is that you still need to work through, talk through, or what have you, spirit, grief, and even this altar gives us an opportunity to do that. I will leave you with this. My mother did come to me, it was about year 3, and she did say, you need to stop calling me mom, because wherever I am, I'm so much bigger than that. And I woke up from that dream, I was like, I know you lying. I know you lying, because what am I supposed to do with that? You want me down here just motherless, trying to navigate? Yes, because it's not only her, it's so much more. There's so many others, ancestors and spirit beings, whatever you want to call them. And when I say that they really do have your back, I can stand here and say they really do have your back. And I have a mom on the other side, I have a dad on the other side, and some others. But I also have this ancestral lineage that I can tap into, and I do. Now the rich ones, I don't know where they at. Because they need to come on, give me some knowledge, something, because I'm not hearing them. And I can hear real well in spirit world. They're not talking. They need to come in and come talk. But for those of you who are walking with grief, I just want you to know that at times it feels isolating, and it feels debilitating at times. But the same side of the coin, not even the other side, the same side is a vastness, and there's love and there's wisdom. And you can tap into that part too. Thank you.
Hi. About 5 years ago, not about, actually,
November 1st, 2019, I wrote something, and it was like an energy pouring out of me that I couldn't quite explain. My family had certainly had loss in my life, but I had never felt it profoundly. And this message came through. I was up until 2 a.m. last night listening to the windstorm. It was so intense as it cleared way for winter. I was taken by the idea of the ebb and flow of life and the connection we have to those who have come before us and those who will come after. They are all here right now. Because we come from the matter of this universe and will return to this matter. And if that is so, connection with those we love and that force is really in our minds and souls, available to us at any time. I always felt this connection as a child, and it frightened me. Afraid of the dark, monsters under my bed, afraid to be alone in a house. I still get spooked. But there is something so calming and beautiful about this new understanding and welcoming of the beyond that I feel a clearing of my own spirit and mind. I welcome the ancestors and thank them for our connection. I breathe in the new air, and with it, feel whole. 2 months later, my brother, one of my twin brothers, passed away in a tragic accident. And over the course of 22, as all of us were grieving incredible loss, my childhood best friend died, and my closest cousin, Christian, Johanna, and Oscar, my brother. And so for the past 5 years, I've been exploring grief. I had started a newsletter at the end of 2019 and had grand visions of what I was going to write there. Explorations of New York and light things, and then January 3rd came in 2020, and all I have done for the past 5 years is write about grief. So this is something that I actually wrote last weekend that again came through me that I'd like to share. I'm sitting in my mother's bedroom in her recliner under the glow of a brass lamp that I think might have been my grandparents'. When I say it was my grandparents', let me be clear. It was probably acquired through a garage sale or some neighbor who handed it off or a coworker who gave it as a gift or someone who said they should have it before moving to another state or country or dying. These heirlooms may not be expensive, but they are priceless. The lamp casts a gentle light. It has witnessed countless nights of reading, of worry, of rest. I've been sleeping at my mother's house for the past several days while she recuperates in the hospital from spinal surgery after an accident. The details are too much for me to look at directly, so I skirt the reality. I am relieved she is alive. I sleep in her guest room in the twin bed. The word twin lingers, an echo of what, of who is missing. Her bed in the next room is empty, except for the pillows she arranged under the blankets. I have to keep telling myself it is not her body. Her body is in a hospital right now, healing. When I packed for this trip, I did so in a haphazard way. Although in the moment I thought I was so organized and clear of mind and strategic. Instead, when I opened my bag that first night, I discovered 1 pair of pants, 3 bras, 8 pairs of underwear. Why 8? 1 pair of sneakers, and no tops. I've been doing laundry each night and visited Nordstrom and Target for a new mini wardrobe. Grief and stress have their own way of organizing things. At night, I sleep in one of my mother's nightgowns. It is turquoise and a silky polyester, and she clearly cut the bottom of them with a pair of scissors to make it suit her petite height. I'm about 4 inches taller than my mother, and the gown reaches just below my knees. When I wake up, I step into her bedroom and sit in her recliner. I am surrounded by the books she reads in the morning or at night. Here is a notepad, a small fan, hand cream, pens, an emery board and nail clipper, books in Spanish and in English. We have Borges, one of my favorites, along Dostoevsky's The Karamazov Brothers. My mother has always loved Russian literature. Willa Cather is also here. Thank goodness for the grace of these tutelary angels as I sit at my mother's sanctuary. They lead me back to her. I am now standing at the kitchen window. There is a pear on the sill, an avocado placed beside it. Each is sitting inside a gourd for drinking mate, a strong green tea from Argentina neither of us drink anymore. Too bitter, too strong. The pear is still hard, but I eat it this way. I prefer the firm fruit. I take hold of the avocado, its flesh soft to the touch. I am certain it is brown and putrid inside. But take one of my mother's butcher knives and cut along the side, skimming the blade against the pit. I twist open the fruit and find myself wrong. There is a perfect, soft, yellow, buttery cream waiting for me to eat. I sprinkle salt from the copper shaker and spoon each mouthful. The luxurious flesh glides along my tongue and roof of my mouth like silk. Some things remain beautiful despite our fears. My mother's orange marigolds from the summer are still holding on. Marigolds, the flowers said to lead souls from their burial place to their to their family homes. Each bright flower sits near the small pine tree we planted in an urn with my grandparents' ashes mixed in with my brother's, our own family tree. They're all here with me as I eat this fruit and watch the sun rise again. They are all here in the lamp, the books, the gathering light. They will be here with me when the sun sets. They will be here long after I leave this house. They will always be here, showing me the way home. And to close, I'd like to read a poem that I wrote after my brother passed. Creek. I visited the creek today. The smell is still the same. 7 years old and skinned knee, climbing the banks, Easter morning, breaking the rules, coming home with algae smeared on my dress. How does a place hold on to so much? The depth of the water, the slope of the tunnel that streams from one end of town to the next. The light, it still ripples. The white ash turned chartreuse, sun-kissing color as the gnats swarm. The amber leaf is following the current, now faster away from me. I thought about climbing in, dipping my toe, but refrained. That's not my role now. Mine is to hold the stones, the fronds, the musk of molting leaves and November sun, that last gasp of lush life, to remember. Thank you.
Have a little song, won't take long. Sing it right once or twice. Oh Lord, and me did not shake sugary. Everything I got is down in pawn. Everything I got is down in pawn. Pawn my watch, pawn my chain, pawn everything that is in my name. Oh Lord, and me did not shake sugary. Everything I got is down in pawn. You can sing that part if you want. Everything I got is down in pawn. Would you like to try that? Everything I got is down in pawn. One more time, it's in English. Everything I got is down in pawn. That's it. Pawn my buggy. Let's see. Pawn my buggy. Pawn my plow. Pawned everything, even pawned my old cow. Oh, Lord, and me did not shake sugary. Here comes. Everything I got is down in pawn. Everybody. Everything I got is down in pawn. Have a little secret I ain't gonna tell. I'm going to heaven and I'm not going to. Oh, Lord, and me did not shake sugary. Everything I got is down in pawn. Everybody say, everything I got is down in pawn. Now I made this one up. This verse I made up. Pawn my records, pawn my CDs, even pawn my dog, the one who has fleas. Oh, Lord, and me did not shake sugary. Everybody sing, everything I got down in pawn. Everything I got is down in pawn. Have a little secret I ain't gonna tell. I'm going to heaven in a brown pea shell. Oh, Lord, and me did not shake sugary. Everything I got is down in pawn. Everybody say, everything I got is down in pawn. Have a little song, won't take long. Sing it right once or twice. Oh, Lord, and me did not shake sugary. Everything I got down in pawn. Everything I got is down in pawn. One more time. Everything I got is down in pawn. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, well, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, what do we gotta do? Oh, everywhere I go, what? Oh, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Take this light around the world. What you gotta do? Oh, take this light around the world. Oh, take this light around the world. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, super, 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 gonna let it shine. Shoo-ba-doo-boo, shoo-doo-doo-doo, what? Oh, shoop-shoop-a-boo-ba-doo-leap-doo-doo-ba-doo. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine. Yes, I'm gonna let it shine. And I'm gonna let it shine. Take this light around the world. What? I'm gonna let it shine, 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 let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everybody, let it shine, let it shine. One more, let it shine, let it shine. Once again, let it shine, 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 let it shine.